We're practically drowning in numbers these days. Stock prices flashing across our screens, valuations that seem to crown new billionaires overnight. But have you ever really stopped to ask what those numbers actually mean? Today, we're going to break down three words that we all use interchangeably, but are in fact worlds apart: price, value, and worth. And trust me, getting the difference is the key to seeing the world of finance, and maybe even life itself, with totally new eyes.
Think about this scenario, because we see it all the time. A company's stock shoots up 10% on a Tuesday, and then, bam, it drops 8% the very next day. But nothing about the actual company has changed, right? The factories are running, the people are at their desks, the products are still on the shelves. So what on earth is going on? This isn't just market volatility. This is something much deeper. It's a fundamental split in how we perceive reality.
And that right there, that's the core tension. On one side, you've got market emotion, this chaotic storm of headlines, tweets, speculation, what the economist John Maynard Keynes called animal spirits. It's just the collective gut feeling of millions of people. And on the other side, you've got business reality, the slow, steady, almost boring rhythm of a company's actual earnings and assets. The gap between these two worlds, that is where fortunes are made and lost.
So, to navigate that gap, we have to get one thing straight. We are not dealing with one concept here. We're dealing with three completely separate realities, each one playing by its own set of rules.
Okay, so first up, there's price. Price is simple. It's the number on the sticker, the figure on the screen. It is just the amount of money that changes hands in a deal. It's what something is selling for right this second. Price is immediate, it's public, and man, is it emotional. It reacts instantly to the tiniest rumor or shift in the collective mood.
Then we have value. Now, value is a totally different beast. Value is what something should be worth. It's a rational calculation. It's based on how much money an asset might make in the future or just how useful it is. And unlike price, which is constantly screaming for your attention, value kind of whispers its secrets, but only to the people who are willing to do the homework. It's a deliberate judgment, not a knee-jerk reaction.
And finally, there's worth. This is where we leave the market behind entirely. Worth is the intrinsic, moral, or emotional significance of something. Think about the worth of a scientific breakthrough before it has any commercial use, or the worth of a pristine forest. These things have a profound significance that you can't slap a price tag on.
So this table really lays it all out. Just look at the time horizon. Price is instantaneous, right now. Value is long-term. And worth is timeless. And look at how they handle market swings. Price is like a leaf in the wind. Value is a sturdy tree, and worth is the bedrock underneath it all. They each exist in their own dimension. Really internalizing this framework is the first step toward true financial literacy.
So, okay, how can this actually be put to use? Well, this leads us straight to the foundational secret of the world's most successful investors.
People like Warren Buffett, Benjamin Graham, they built legendary careers on this one single powerful idea. They understood that the market, driven by those animal spirits, gets the price wrong all the time. Their whole strategy is to patiently calculate the true underlying value of a business and then just wait. Wait for the market's emotional freakouts to offer up a price that is deeply, deeply disconnected from that reality.
One of their many tools for this is called a discounted cash flow analysis. Now, the name might sound technical, but the idea behind it is actually beautiful. You estimate all the cash a business is likely to generate over its entire lifetime. Then you discount that future money back to today to account for risk and for the simple fact that $1 today is worth more than $1 tomorrow. And what you get is a single number, an estimate of the company's true value, right now. It's an attempt to find a rational anchor in an ocean of noise.
But, and this is the profound irony, this whole process, which seems so objective and mathematical, is actually built on a bedrock of subjectivity. All those inputs, future growth rates, discount rates, they're all just educated guesses. It's kind of like building a skyscraper on a foundation of sand. A tiny little shift in one assumption, say a 2% change in how fast you think it'll grow, can cause the final valuation to swing by a staggering 25% or more. And that's the key takeaway. Our most powerful tool for calculating objective value is, at its core, an art form. It's not a science. And because it's an art, not a science, our rational models they're vulnerable. They have a breaking point, a point where all that elegant math just gets washed away by the messy, powerful flood of human psychology.
And this is what that breaking point looks like.
A speculative bubble. That short bar, that's the sober, calculated intrinsic value of an asset. But that towering bar next to it, that is where the market price can go when it completely detaches from reality. That vast, empty space between them is fueled by pure, unadulterated human emotion.
So what creates that gap? It's a potent cocktail of our own mental biases. The fear of missing out, FOMO, that lights the first match. Herd mentality fans the flames, as we all start thinking, well, if everyone's buying, it must be safe. And then finally, euphoria takes over, that dangerous belief that this time it's different. These primal forces can completely overwhelm any rational calculation of value for months, or even years.
But, sometimes the confusion isn't a bug, it's a feature. Sometimes it's a deliberate strategy. I mean, just think about your cell phone bill. Sellers will use insane complexity, bundled services, hidden fees, weird promotional rates, all to obscure the true price. Their goal is to make it almost impossible for you, the consumer, to do a rational comparison between the price you're paying and the value you're getting.
And all of this takes us to our final, and maybe our most profound question. We've seen how price can detach from value. But what happens when we try to apply price to the realm of worth? Well, we cross a sacred boundary. We enter the territory of the priceless.
To really get this, we have to distinguish between two types of goods. First, there are goods to be used. Commodities, assets, tools. Their purpose is to serve our needs, and the market is actually really good at pricing and valuing them. But then there are goods to be honored. Things like friendship, integrity, civic duty. These things have an intrinsic worth that has nothing to do with their utility to us.
Philosophers actually have a name for what happens when we confuse these two. It's called the corruption thesis. And the argument is that introducing money into certain areas of life doesn't just measure them, it fundamentally changes and degrades them. Think about it. If you pay a friend to be your confidant, you haven't quantified the value of friendship. You've destroyed it and replaced it with a commercial transaction. The very act of pricing it erodes its nature.
So the crucial point is that we have to ask ourselves these questions. Can you really put a price on these things? If a company offered to pay citizens to promote a political candidate, would that money represent the value of their civic voice or the cost of its corruption? The market simply has no language for this.
And this is the thought I want to leave you with. In a world that is relentlessly trying to put a price on everything, from our own attention to the environment itself, what happens to the things that are truly priceless? We run the risk of becoming what Oscar Wilde once warned against, people who know the price of everything and the value of nothing.